Felicia Taylor E. I am going to be reading from my book, Southern Spice, A Brown Girl's Tale. Echoes in my spirit. They stood with white long robes on and pointed white caps like a dunce hat, but made of cloth, eyes peering out from the holes they had cut through the front of the cloth. Messages on the signs were a blur. As if flashes of lightning blinded my view, I saw segments of words. No, NAACP, blacks, go home. My body was screaming from the seatbelt. Lock the door, run the light, get away, mama, get away. I couldn't believe that the people who call themselves the Ku Klux Klan were standing on the corner in my town, upset that there was an NAACP convention being hosted at the Denton Convention Center. No one was stopping them, and no one was there to help me or my mom. A four-way stop. The station wagon had come to a halt, right next to where they grimaced and growled. Mom, lock the doors. For what? They're there. I screamed at the passenger window, fearing the white-gowned and hooded ones. I'd read about their hatefulness in books, seen their destructiveness in movies, felt they would harm us when they saw our brown skin. Their presence was always representative of rampant evil, viciously blaring hatred and death. Cowardly, covering their identity, whilst always having multiple attackers against just one. My mother's actions, and not her reply, is what echoes in my spirit now. Ignore them. Don't be afraid. She stared straight ahead, didn't rush to lock the doors. We sat at the red light. They stood on the corner next to us, holding their signs higher in the air, eyes behind hoods staring out. I had not known that day that my mom had experienced these times before. She had seen these white hood covered ones in the past. They weren't a shock to her. She had experienced this and witnessed more than I ever would. Marching for civil rights in the 60s with Martin Luther King Jr., and a member of the NAACP since youth. This day of white covered sheets on head and body would not deter her or us from getting to our destination. Today was not a day for them to win. It was a time for the ones that hid behind the white gowns and hats to stand with their signs and be the ones in hiding. As we drove past them in our car and went on with our night, I saw my mother match eyes with the last of the hoods, then placed her focus on the road ahead.